So mind you, Jane and I are like in bed and she's sharing all of this stuff with me, right? Like we're catching up. And the next part that she told me, so first she told me about getting fired from the wealth management firm. And then that winter, so a couple months or so later, she goes on a ski trip with the ski team because Jane was a really good skier. Like I said, she joined the ski team and the ski club. Like, that's how into it she was. But she apparently, I'm not even going to go over the details because I don't remember all of them, but there was an altercation where the cops were called. Jane bit a cop. Her words, she bit a cop and then spent the night in jail wearing a dragon onesie. And so apparently that made her iconic to the rest of the ski team because, you know, white people spending the night in jail is a big deal. Doesn't happen all the time. I'm not even going to say any more details about that because it doesn't really matter. But she's, again, recounting this to me. And I just kind of sit there and I'm like, oh, wow. The only thing I knew to say was karma is a bitch. Because this all happened not too long after we parted ways, after we broke up, again, in the way that we broke up. And you had gone, and some of this I knew from the apology email that she had sent me prior to us like reconnecting in person. And again, I'll get to the music festival in the next video because I'm pretty sure I have the timeline correct, where again we reconnected once in Santa Barbara. She spent the night, haven't even finished that, and then again. But okay. So again, we're in bed and she's telling me all this and I'm just sitting there like, wow. Again, the only thing I knew to say was, wow, karma's a bitch. And she agreed. And again, I don't know if I've said this, but when we broke up in the way that we did, I knew in my gut, I had this feeling. I was like, there's just no way you're going to get away with this. Not also because of who I am, but like just karmically and energetically, like there's just no way. There's just no way. So anyway, I thought, again, never in my wildest dreams did I think something like that would happen, where she'd end up, you know, fucking spending the night in jail and biting a cop and being fired. And so anyway, after all of that, her very intelligent parents decided, you know what, why don't you move in back home so we can keep an eye on you, since you obviously don't know how to live by yourself, right? So I do remember the other thing that I told her before, you know, we did what we did, which anyway. So I remember saying, I was like, and mind you, for all intents and purposes, at one point, more or less became part of the family. Like, I knew all her parents, like they would text me because they knew that they could get to their kid quicker through me. But I remember telling her, I said, you know, for how bad and horrible your parents thought that I was and how much of a bad influence that they said that I was like, you weren't spending the night in jail, you know, biting police officers. You weren't doing that shit when we were together, when we were hanging out. And she was like, yeah, you're right. So, again, and this is the only reason why I mention it. So, again, I told you guys my roommates gave me the room, did what we did. And I remember afterwards, these fuckers are in the living room. And I remember one of my roommates goes, see, I told you. And the other one, I guess they had like placed bets because, again, everyone thought I was gay, and I am very gay, but I did used to like women a lot, and that's not a flex. Like, it, you know what I'm saying? So But anyway, I thought that was funny that, yeah, I could like hear them in the living room that like they couldn't believe that I knew how to satisfy a woman. Let's just leave it at that. Anyway, in the next video, I'll tell you about the last time, actually, in the grand scheme of things, the final time I ever saw Jane. And yeah, it was also my first time attending a music festival. So I'll tell you guys about that soon.